God's ever-present observation of the chosen ones, a sacred connection. The chosen ones, individuals selected by God for a divine purpose, live their lives with a deep awareness of God's constant observation. This is not simply a passive form of observation, it is an active, sacred connection. God does not merely observe from afar, He is intimately aware of every thought, action, and decision that the chosen ones make. This divine gaze is unlike any human gaze. It is filled with compassion, wisdom, and an understanding that transcends earthly comprehension. The awareness that God is always present and watching over them shapes their lives and guides their spiritual journey. Many religious texts describe God's omnipresence as an essential attribute of His divinity. The chosen ones, in their unique role, are constantly aware that God is watching them, not out of judgment, but out of love and guidance. This constant divine attention is not meant to induce fear, but to strengthen their connection with the Creator. The chosen ones, knowing that they are being watched, are called to live according to a higher moral and spiritual standard, which further aligns them with God's will. You didn't find this video by accident. There's a purpose behind your presence here. The universe, in its wisdom, aligned this exact moment for you to receive a message your soul has been seeking. Trust that every word holds a truth or sign meant just for you, guiding you toward what you've been searching for. Comment 777 below to align your wishes with the universe's frequency, radiating your energy and intention outward. This simple act signals to the universe that you're ready to receive, manifest, and embrace the gifts awaiting you. Divine observation and the burden of responsibility. The burden of being watched by God is not an easy one. It is not just about living up to divine standards in isolated moments. It is about being constantly aware that every action is being witnessed. For the chosen, this becomes both a gift and a challenge. On the one hand, they are guided by God's constant presence, receiving wisdom and strength. On the other hand, they carry the weight of responsibility. For every action is seen by the one who holds the universe in His hands. This divine responsibility is not just about avoiding sin or wrongdoing. It is about living in alignment with a purpose greater than oneself, knowing that God's eyes are always upon them. Every decision, even the smallest, becomes significant when viewed through the lens of God's omnipresent gaze. The chosen are constantly tested to live authentically, not just for their own benefit, but for the greater good of humanity. The awareness that God is watching them gives them the strength to rise above worldly temptations and distractions. God's constant vigilance, the call to holiness. The chosen are called to walk a path of holiness, a path that can sometimes feel lonely and burdensome. They are aware that God's gaze is a purifying force that compels them to turn away from sin and towards righteousness. The challenge of living under God's watch is that it requires constant self-reflection and discipline. Every action, every word, every thought must be considered in the light of God's expectations. The beauty of God's watchful presence is that it is not meant to inspire fear, but rather a longing to be closer to Him. His loving gaze is transforming. The chosen ones understand that living according to God's will is not just about obedience. It is about becoming the best version of themselves. Their awareness that they are being watched by God encourages them to remain steadfast in their spiritual growth, knowing that this divine attention offers protection, guidance, and strength. God's watching, a source of strength and security. While God's eye is a constant reminder of the responsibility they carry, it is also a source of immense strength. The chosen ones know that in their darkest hours, when they face trials and tribulations, God is with them. His eyes never leave them. His protection is unwavering. This awareness gives them the courage to face life's challenges, knowing that they are not alone. God's presence also provides comfort in times of suffering. Even in the face of pain and hardship, the chosen ones are aware that they are held in divine love. God's eyes do not judge them harshly, but offer guidance and compassion. His watchful gaze is a reminder that no matter what trials they face, God is always with them, guiding them through every storm, divine testing and strengthening through observation. God's constant watching is not just a passive presence, it is an active force in the lives of the elect. They are continually tested by God, not in the sense of punishment, but as a way of strengthening their faith and character. Each trial is an opportunity for the chosen ones to grow closer to God and to hone their ability to live according to His will. The trials they face are often a direct result of God's observation of their lives. It is through these trials that they are molded into individuals who can carry out God's divine plan. These trials challenge their beliefs, their character, and their ability to stand firm in their faith. But through it all, God's presence is a constant source of strength. His watchful eye provides the assurance that they will never be tested beyond their ability to endure. The chosen are encouraged to trust in God's plan for them, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. The trials they face under God's eye are opportunities to grow in wisdom, courage, and spiritual maturity. Each challenge is part of God's divine plan, and through each trial, the chosen are better equipped to fulfill the sacred purpose for which they have been chosen. The role of free will and divine observation. The dynamic between divine observation and human free will is one of the most profound aspects of the chosen one's journey. While God is always watching, He does not force the chosen ones to act in any particular way. They still have the freedom to make choices, and these choices play a significant role in their spiritual journey. However, their awareness that God is watching them influences their decisions. The free will of the chosen ones is not limited, but it is guided by their desire to live in harmony with God's will. The balance between God's watchful eye and human autonomy is what allows the chosen to grow spiritually. They are free to make choices, but the knowledge that God is watching them helps them to make decisions that are in line with divine wisdom. Awareness of God's presence does not take away their free will. It enhances their ability to choose wisely and live in harmony with divine purpose. God's vigilance, a call to spiritual leadership. The elect are called to be spiritual leaders in their communities. Living under God's constant watch, they are expected to set an example for others to follow. Their actions, words, and decisions should reflect the light of God's love. They are called not only to walk the path of righteousness themselves, but also to lead others on that path. Living under God's watchful eye places a responsibility on the chosen to live as examples of faith, integrity, and love. They are responsible not only for their own spiritual journey, but also for helping others find their way to God. Their leadership is not based on power or authority, but on the love and guidance they receive from God. The chosen ones are to be vessels of God's love, showing others the way to divine truth through their words and actions. Conclusion: the eternal eye of God. God's eternal gaze upon the chosen ones is both a privilege and a responsibility. It is a reminder that they are never alone, that God is always with them, guiding, protecting, and loving them. This divine observation shapes their lives, influencing every decision, every action, and every thought. The chosen ones are called to live under God's watchful eye, knowing that His presence is not a burden, but a source of strength, guidance, and love. In every moment of their lives, the chosen ones can take comfort in knowing that God's gaze is always with them. It is through this awareness that they can live according to God's divine plan, fulfill their sacred destiny, and walk the path of holiness. The chosen live under God's gaze, but this gaze is a divine gift, a gift that enables them to rise above the challenges of life and fulfill the sacred mission that God has entrusted to them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, watch our other videos, and leave a comment below.